Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be recreating a makeup look that Patrick Ta did on Miranda Kerr a few weeks ago, and I just loved it. I had almost all of the products that he used, and I was just very inspired when I saw his video and his photos, so I wanted to recreate it myself on my channel. If you are new here, my name is Blair. I do all kinds of beauty and makeup content here on YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I hope you'll stick around and subscribe, and let's go ahead and get started with the video. All right, let's get into it. I knew I wanted to film this video. I wasn't really sure when, since we're kind of going for minimal May vibe right now, but this is going to be a bonus video. So I'm thinking this is going to go up on a Saturday, so hopefully you enjoy. I saw a video from Patrick Ta a week or two ago, and he did Miranda Kerr's makeup, and I had most of the products that he used. He also posted a reel on Instagram and photos of her, and she is so stunning. I think she is one of the most stunning just humans on the entire universe. I just think she is so beautiful. And I had almost all the products that he used, so I kind of wanted to recreate his makeup look. I've done a few of these in the past. I did one that Nikki Makeup did on Hailey Bieber. I think I've done a few before that as well, but I love to recreate makeup looks. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to do it as close to how he did it as I can. So let's get into it. He did the eyes first. That is very not what I typically do, but we're going to do it today since that's what he did. And he also prepped the skin really, really well with Miranda's brand, which is Cora Organics. I don't have any of her skincare, but I just tried to kind of use similar products. He used a new moisturizer by her, and he used her eye cream, which I don't have, but I'm just going to use my Ole Henriksen Banana Bright. I did apply eye cream, but it's been a little while since I did that, a few hours ago, so we're gonna do this first. Yeah, I will put a photo or a screenshot of this photo of her that he posted on Instagram, and hopefully I can get kind of close. Okay, he did not use a primer from what I saw, but he did use a mist on her face before he started the makeup, so I'm going to do that as well. He used the Cora Organics mist. I'm just going to use my Charlotte Tilbury spray. He also prepped her lips with the Patrick Ta lip mask, so I'm going to do the same thing. I really like this lip mask, actually. It's very hydrating. It smells kind of like vanilla. I'm gonna let all of this kind of sit for a minute or two, and then we'll move on to the makeup. All right, you guys, let's get into it. We're gonna do the eyes first, as I said. So he did prime. He used the P. Louise eyeshadow primer. I don't have that, so I'm just gonna use this one. This is the Smashbox lid primer in the shade Light. I think I've always heard really good things about the P. Louise primer, but I've never tried it. So I'm gonna apply primer on the eyes. It's so funny how everyone kind of has a preference for how they do makeup. For me, I don't know why I always feel like I need to do my face first before I can do the eyes, but I also get the appeal with doing eyes first, so you can really clean anything up that maybe fell down from the eyes or anything like that. So we're gonna do it this way today, even though it feels very foreign to me. All right, so now we've got the primer down, and of course he used the new Major Dimension Rose palette from Patrick Ta Beauty, so that is what we're gonna use. And I am gonna first go into the lighter cream shade. It's kind of a mauve-y nude color. And in the video, it looked like he just kind of did a wash of this kind of all over, very lightly. It wasn't super, super pigmented or anything. So I'm just gonna take a fluffy eyeshadow brush. This is just an old one from Sephora collection. And I'm just gonna kind of lightly feather this all over the eye. What I really liked about this eye look was it was very hazy looking. Like it was very blended and just, it was a little bit of color, but not too much. It was just so stunning. I love Patrick Ta. I could watch him do makeup literally all day, every day. I'm just like mesmerized by it. These creams are very pigmented in this palette, so I'm literally tapping like one time into this cream. If you're wanting more of a diffused look, I would recommend going in with less to begin with, and then you can always add more, but they are very pigmented. All right, next he went into this shade, which is probably one of my favorite shades in the palette. It's this kind of a dusty, rosy nude. It's a matte. And he took a pointier brush, not this exact one, but this is the closest thing that I have. This is the BK Beauty 202 brush. And he basically tapped the majority of this on the outer corner and then kind of slowly brought it over into the crease just a little bit, but the color, like I said, was very diffused and like blown out. So I'm not gonna add a whole lot of it. So just, again, just a little bit of product because I don't want this to be super intense. I want it to look like hers. Look, she just looked like effortlessly glam. I loved it. All right, you guys, we're gonna move on to the face now. He did use one of the glitter toppers kind of all over her lid, kind of sheerly, but I'm gonna wait and do that a little bit later. Although, if I had any fallout, I guess I could kind of clean that up. But he did it later on in the video, so I guess I'm gonna do it how he did it. But I am gonna apply a little bit of corrector under my eyes as always. He did not use a corrector on Miranda. She does not need it. She has extremely beautiful, flawless skin. But I'm gonna use a little bit of my Charlotte Tilbury in the shade number 2. And I'm just gonna apply a bit of this right in my inner corners. And then on this eye, I have a good bit more darkness, like kind of on the side right here. So I'm gonna bring it up just a bit. And then I'm gonna take just a tiny bit on the very outer corner. All right, and then I'm just gonna tap that in with this Bobbi Brown brush. All right, for foundation, he used Armani Luminous Silk. So we're gonna use that today. I have 2 shades. I have shade number 4 and shade number 5. I'm gonna mix a little bit of both. Honestly, neither of these is like a perfect match for me right now, but it's pretty good. And I am using a Sigma F80 brush to tap this in. I found that anytime I wear this foundation, for some reason, I really like to apply it with this Sigma brush. It just works really well with this formula. I also have this lovely like friend here that just randomly showed up. So I'll have to work on concealing that. Okay, he did not do this step, but I'm going to. So I'm going to take a little bit of my soft matte concealer from NARS. And I'm taking this small end of this It Cosmetics brush. And I'm just tapping a bit of that right on that little blemish that I have. This is the best blemish concealer ever, in my opinion. And then I'm taking just a little bit on this little area on the side of my nose. That Armani foundation is not a ton of coverage. I would say it's like a light medium coverage, and I don't want to build it up too much. So I just wanted to spot conceal with a little bit of NARS. For concealer, he used Armani Luminous Silk Concealer as well. So I'm going to do that as well. This is the shade 5. And I also have the shade 4, which those are the 2 shades that we mixed for the foundation. So I'm going to mix them on the eyes as well. So I took 5 in the inner corner and the outer corner, and then I'm going to put a little bit of 4 right in the middle. And this concealer is very sheer as well, so I'm going to let it sit for about a minute before I blend it in. Alright, I'm going to blend in my concealer with my favorite brush, which is the Sigma F03, and I'm just kind of lightly tapping it in. I'm not going to use a sponge, as actually I don't typically use a sponge anyway, but definitely wouldn't with this concealer just because it's so light in terms of the coverage. If you want to get any coverage from it, I would definitely recommend using a brush. This is a really beautiful concealer. The finish is very similar to the foundation. It's not super glowy, but it definitely has a little bit of a radiance to it, which is really pretty. I also noticed Patrick Ta always kind of brings the concealer down kind of on the side of the nose here as well. So I'm just going to kind of drag my brush down this way. I don't want to add a ton of additional product, but I always notice that he does that. All right, before we move on with the rest of the face, I'm going to take his lamination gel for the brows. This is what he used on her. And I'm just going to brush them up and kind of out, which is what he did with her. Her brows are very full, so he really didn't need to do any filling in at all. I might fill in just slightly where I really need it, but her brows are pretty perfect on their own. So I'm just brushing this through to get the shape that I want, because one thing about this lamination gel is once it sets down, you really cannot move the brows at all. So definitely have to make sure you get the shape right that you're wanting. All right, then he used his cream contour and bronzer duo. I have the shade She's Sculpted. So this is like his powder duos. You get the cream and you get the powder. I'm going to go in with the cream right here, and this one is in the shade She's Sculpted. I think this is the shade he used on her. And I'm just going to kind of tap this on. And the brush he used was his contour brush, his sculpting brush, I think is what it's called. I don't have that brush, so I'm just using this one from the Morphe REL collection. This is the A58. It's a really good size for cream bronzer. And I didn't see him go in with the powder bronzer that goes with this, so I think we're just going to go right to the blush, which I was so happy to see that he used one of my favorite Patrick Ta blush at the moment, and it's She's Blushing. She's So LA is really pretty, and she's that girl, that bright pink I love. But ever since She's Blushing came out, I just can't. I love this so much. And he did use the powder and the cream in this. So I'm first going to go in with the powder. And I'm going to, again, use a brush from the Morphe REL collection. This is the A22. I love this brush. It's one of my favorites from that collection. And I'm going to add the powder first. Such a beautiful color. This blush is just stunning. And the formula is so good. It's very buildable, and I just love it. Okay, so I'm just kind of tapping it on since we're going to go in with the cream on top. I don't want to go in with too much. Okay, now I'm going to press a little bit of the cream blush on top, and I'm kind of tapping it off on the back of my hand because I don't want too much. I just want to add back a little bit of that pretty glow that you get from cream blush. Before I go in with any powder, I don't think he said what powder he used, but let's do the glitter topper. Now in the video, it didn't look like he used like a glitter glue or anything. It looked like he just went in with his finger, and the glitter was very sheer. It wasn't super opaque. So I'm not sure how he went about doing that, but we're gonna do it. I'm not sure which one of these he used, but I'm gonna use this pinky color right here. I think he might have used this one, but I'm gonna use this one, I think. And I'm just gonna use my finger, and I'm just kind of tapping it. I'm trying not to get a whole lot on there, because this is what it looked like to me. It just looked like he kind of lightly patted it on. So you kind of get, yeah, like that, like just that wet look, but not super opaque glitter. So I'm just literally tapping like one time into that shimmer and just lightly tapping over the lid with my finger. And then he did not really show powder, but I am gonna use a little bit just in my T-zone. I'm gonna use the Kosas powder. I'm gonna use this brush. I really like this brush for really strategic powder placement. This is the A14 from the Morphe Ariel collection. And I'm gonna powder right here. Do you see that? I don't know if you can see it on camera, but do you see how that just took away the pores there? This powder is so, so good. So I'm just tapping this on. I will say, I've had a few people ask me if I think these brushes from the Morphe Ariel collection are worth it, and I actually do. They're really great quality, and I love the assortment that they included. I just think you get a really good mix of face and eye brushes, but you can buy the eye brushes separately, I think. I bought the whole set and I use them all the time. Okay, I'm just gonna take a tiny bit in the center of my face here. Ooh, one thing he did do that I did not do, I guess I'll try to do it quickly. He kind of lightly contoured the sides of her nose. I don't typically contour my nose, but he did it, so I'm gonna try to do it just a little. So I'm gonna take that cream again and just this little A29 from that same Morphe collection, and I'm just gonna lightly apply that. I mean, just a little bit, because I really like the size and shape of my nose. I never really feel the need to contour, but he did do it on her, so I'm just gonna do it slightly. For the lower lash line, I am gonna take that same cream shadow that we used first, and I'm just gonna apply a little bit of that on the outer half of the lower lash line, like just a little bit. And then he took the matte shade we used in the outer corner of our eye, and he went very lightly all the way across with this, but it was very, very light, like right in the inner corner. And then before we do mascara, I am gonna quickly like barely fill in my eyebrows just where I have gaps, because her brows, like I said, she has no gaps in her brows whatsoever, so she didn't need that, but I am going to do just a bit of that, and then we'll move on to the rest of the eyes and the lips. Alright, so I filled them in just a little bit, and I just curled my lashes. Now we're going to move on to some mascara. He used the Patrick Ta mascara. I do not have it. I would love to try it at some point, but I'm going to use Bobbi Brown Smoky Eye Mascara. I don't know why. I feel like the brush on this looks similar to the Patrick Ta brush. I don't know if it is or not, but I'm going to apply a coat of this. Last, for the lips, he used Makeup Forever Wherever Walnut lip liner, which I have. I love this one. It's such a good pinky nude. And I just kind of wiped off that lip mask we applied in the beginning. So he lined with this and kind of filled in like on the corners. And then he used one of his lip creams. It was the She's Independent shade. I don't have that, but this from L'Oreal looked really similar. This is one of the Glow Paradise Balm glosses in Feathery Fleur. And he just kind of tapped the lip cream with his finger. He didn't use a whole lot, so I'm gonna do the same. And that's it, you guys. He did finish off with a little bit of setting spray. So we'll use a bit of Charlotte Tilbury. And then I'm gonna go around and tap just a bit more. All right, you guys, this is the final look. Let me know in the comments what you think. It's definitely not exact, but I don't know. I feel like it's pretty close to how he did her makeup. I just thought it was the most beautiful, stunning makeup look on one of my favorite models ever. I just think Miranda Kerr is so stunning, and I obviously love Patrick Ta. I'll scoot over a bit and I'll put the picture of her up on the screen again, and you can kind of compare. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I will list and link everything below as always, and thank you for being here and supporting me and my channel. Make sure to follow me over on Instagram at simply.blair and TikTok simply.blair1. I will see you next time. Remember, simply be you. Bye.